Hello dear students, welcome to Pen and Paper Chemistry on YouTube. How are you all doing? आप लोग सब कैसे हैं? In today's lesson we are going to talk about Grignard's reagent, their preparation and properties. In an earlier video I have already given you a flow chart in order to talk about and in order to revise, recall, remember Grignard's reagent, their preparation and properties. By the way, such kind of flow charts are there for alkanes, alkenes, alkyl halides as well on the channel, and more are on their way. Take full advantage of them, draw these flow charts yourself. So let's get started with Grignard's reagent. Why are Grignard's reagents so important for us? Actually, they are very good synthetic reagents. Very good synthetic reagents because you can prepare a number of organic compounds with the help of Grignard's reagent. If you see the flow chart once again, you will see that there are so many reactions on the right hand side. The right hand side are the properties of Grignard's reagent. You see, we can prepare alkanes, alkenes, alkynes, ethers, alcohols, carboxylic acid, so many number of compounds using Grignard's reagent. So that is why they are very important synthetic compounds. But what actually are Grignard's reagent? These are a class of compounds which are known as organometallic compounds. So break down the word. So we have organo. So that means there's an organic part and there is a metal attached to it. Now organic means carbon and metal. So that means these are those compounds which have at least one carbon to metal bond. So for example, if I say methyl lithium, such type of compounds are not very common, but yes, they do exist in organic chemistry. C2H5 whole 4 Pb, a famous anti-knock agent at one time. TEL, tetraethyl lead, tetraethyl lead, that's the full form of TEL. These are organometallic compounds. As I said, Grignard's reagent, yes, the G is silent over here. The Grignard's reagent are actually a class of organometallic compounds. That means these are those compounds in which there will be a carbon metal bond. The metal over here is specifically magnesium. And interestingly, there is a halogen attached to it. So these are organomagnesium halides, right, which are given the common name of Grignard's reagent. Interestingly, they were discovered by Victor Grignard in 1900 and he got a Nobel Prize for it in 1912, although he was a graduate in mathematics. So something interesting over here, right? Okay, so let's break down the Grignard's reagent. What are they? As we said, organomagnesium halides. That means R, there's an alkyl group or an aryl group, magnesium and halogen. In other words, my R can be any alkyl group. For example, CH3, C2H5 and so on. It can also be an aryl group. So for example, C6H5. Come to the halogen halides. So fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine. Although you will not find Grignard's reagent which have fluorine in them. You remember we did in alkyl halides. The fluoro compounds are very, very reactive. So better stay away from them. Got it? So we have this category, alkyl, magnesium halides. So let's break it down into even simple terms. alkyl magnesium halides. This is the class of compounds which are known as the Grignard's reagent, which in short I'm going to refer as GR, just to save time. Before we go on to the synthetic behavior of these compounds, why not grab your pen and notebook so that you can write down the reactions with me? Because this channel is all about pen and paper, right? We've classified the properties of alkyl magnesium halides, that is RMGX, under two categories: nucleophilic substitution and nucleophilic addition followed by acidic hydrolysis. So two categories are there. How and why do they show this kind of behavior? Where does the nucleophilic character come into the picture? Let's understand that. Here I have a comparative view of the electronegativity values of carbon, magnesium and the halogen. You see over here in this case carbon and magnesium. Just compare the two. The electronegativity of carbon is 2.5, of magnesium is 1.2, whereas for halogens, depending upon what halogen you're talking about, so fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine. I will rub out the fluorine because as we discussed earlier, we don't count that under the category. We don't deal with the fluoroderivatives. So I've got here chlorine, bromine, iodine. Let's zero down on carbon and magnesium to be specific, because this is the type of bond that we are going to focus on. You see over here, carbon, the electronegativity of carbon is much higher, almost double that of magnesium. What do we mean by electronegativity? So that means if there is a tug of war going on between carbon and magnesium, and that tug of war involves the shared pair of electrons, it is carbon which is a clear winner. In other words, carbon is going to pull this shared pair of electrons towards itself. Now, when it pulls the shared pair of electrons towards itself, what charge will it acquire? Yes, negative. Remember, it's not a complete transfer. It's just more focused or more bent towards carbon. Whereas what charge will magnesium acquire? Obviously, it's a positive. The carbon part of the Grignard's reagent actually will prefer to attack at sites which are, tell me, electron rich or electron deficient. Think they themselves are rich in electrons. They have a high concentration of electrons due to their electronegativity. So where would they like to attack? Yes, of course. They would like to attack at positive centers. That means those parts of the compound which have a positive charge on them. Now, when they attack with their electrons on the positive centers, what name will we give to this carbon? Is it electrophilic or nucleophilic? We have done these kind of terms under the basic concepts of organic chemistry. So tell me, it's nucleus loving, right? So this carbon now becomes nucleophilic and attacks at points which are positive centers or which are deficient in electrons. That is why the word nucleophilic substitution or nucleophilic addition. What are the cases where nucleophilic substitution takes place and where does nucleophilic addition take place? Simply remember, nucleophilic addition, if you recall under the reaction mechanism, it will take place in carbonyl compounds or places where you have multiple bonds between carbon and the other atom. I've given you enough hint there. So let's get started with the reactions of Grignard's reagent. Would you like to note this down? It will be helpful for offline reference when you are not on YouTube and busy preparing for your exams, right? So the first set of reactions that we are going to write are nucleophilic substitution reactions. So what we've got is Grignard's reagent react with compounds containing active hydrogen. What do we mean by compounds containing active hydrogen? That is hydrogen which is more acidic than the hydrogen in alkanes. And they will give us alkanes as the product. So what are those compounds which have active hydrogen? Very simple. Water, alcohols, amines. How are we going to write the reaction for them? Okay, go ahead. RMgX. What did we do just now? We said R acquires a negative charge, Mg acquires a positive charge. Same way, break down your water, positive and negative. Remember, water is a polar molecule. So negative end of our Grignard's reagent will attack the positive center of the molecule, giving us RH, and we will have basic magnesium halide, MgOHX. Magnesium has a valency of 2. Same way, now write HOR, positive, negative. What will you get? Again, negative, positive. Remember, the R is positive. Till now, how you've been doing is you had the carbon and the halogen bond, and the halogen was negative and the carbon was positive. This is a unique compound, and that is why it has these special properties. So understand here that the alkyl group here has a negative end. It's a nucleophile. Go ahead, try writing the reaction yourself. If you want to differentiate between the two alkyl groups, you can also write it as R dash, in which case you will have, okay, the negative end attacks the positive end. So we again will have RH and MgX and OR dash. Let's check your understanding. Now, let me take an example over here. C2H5MgBr. We name it as ethyl magnesium bromide and reacted with HO, let's say CH3 over here. See, I have made things simple for you by just flipping the methanol molecule, CH3OH, right? I've not done these experiments, these reactions in the laboratory. It's just a practice I'm trying to give you over here. Yes, so go ahead, positive and negative, positive and negative, or negative and positive. Yes, it's a flipped molecule. The carbon is negative. Try writing the products, then I'll tell you. Go ahead. So you get the alkane over here is C2H6 plus MgBrOCH3. Did you get it right? Wonderful. That means you've understood the first reaction very, very clearly. Right? So the type of alkane formed will depend on the alkyl group on the Grignard's reagent. So please be very, very careful about that. It's not CH4. It's C2H5 with an extra hydrogen attached to it. Would you like to write the reaction of C2H5MgBr with ethanamine? So what will be the formula for ethanamine? C2H5NH2, right? What did we say? Compounds with active hydrogen, and we said this is one of those compounds. So flip it around, take H separate and write the rest of the molecule. So what will be the product? What alkane will be formed? Absolutely right. So you will have C2H6 and attach the rest of the molecule to magnesium. So you have NHC2H5. Easy? It will be easy. If you're still finding it difficult, that means you are not writing the reactions with me. Pause the video, get your pen and notebook, write the reaction. I'm telling you, you will love the learning that you will imbibe by the end of this session. You'll really be proud of yourself and you'll start enjoying organic chemistry. So grab your pen and paper and write the reactions. So simply put over here, what we've got is Grignard's reagent plus compounds containing active hydrogen give us alkanes. We move on now to the preparation of alkenes using Grignard's reagent. So what we've got, the Grignard's reagent reacted with alkyl halide. Now that alkyl group can be saturated or it can be unsaturated. Try forming the product C, break it down, positive, negative, where will be positive, where will be negative, and you know the category of these reactions is nucleophilic substitution. Substitution by a nucleophile. What did you do? You replace the nucleophile here by, I'm not going to tell. Go ahead. Yes, you replace the nucleophile. Where is the nucleophile? R-O. This is nucleus loving. Replacing one negative part by the other electronegative part. That's nucleophilic substitution. Correct? Go ahead. Try the nucleophilic substitution in the second set of reactions. We again have delta negative, delta positive, positive and negative. You see the sharp contrast over here. Here my alkyl group is negative, whereas here the alkyl group is positive. Why is it so? When carbon is directly attached to the halogen, it is the halogen which is stronger in the tug of war. Whereas when carbon is attached to an electropositive element like magnesium, it is carbon which is the clear winner. So what have we got to do over here? Simple substitution. Replace one nucleophile by the other. So what will happen is the electrons of the the Ci bond will move towards iodine. So the CH3, or if you write it as RMGX, here negative, positive. So it is the electrons of the alkyl group which will come and attack the carbon over here. So what will we form? Yes, we will form CH3R. Now depends what is this R, whether it is saturated or unsaturated. Because my alkyl group is simple CH3, so I will form over here RCH3 plus Mg, X and I. Whereas in the second case, what I've got is my alkyl group is unsaturated. So when it is unsaturated, again, so negative, and we will have positive, and we will have negative and positive exchange of parts, and we have nucleophilic substitution. So CH2, double bond CH, CH2 and R. See where I have connected the R over here. You have to be careful about that. Plus Mg, X and Br. Got it right? Now try writing the same reaction between ethyl magnesium bromide and CH2 double bond CH, CH2I. Again, we will take negative, positive, and we will have positive and negative. What will you get? So the product would be CH2 double bond CH, CH2, C2H5. So let me just spread it out and write the product. So what is the product formed over here? 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So you will have pentene as the product. Right? Good so far? Our next reaction involves the conversion of terminal alkynes to internal alkynes. Now, what is terminal alkynes? You see this alkyne. Alkyne means, first of all, it's got a triple bond. Terminal means the triple bonded carbon is at the end of the chain. These are called as terminal alkynes. So what would be the example of an internal alkyne? So for example, I have this alkyne. Here, the triple bond is somewhere in the center or in between the two terminal carbons. It is not at the end. It is flanked by the alkyl groups on both the sides. That is why it is called as an internal alkyne, and this is a terminal alkyne. Right? So we are going to convert terminal alkynes into internal alkynes. I've listed the steps for you. Would you like to write down the reaction yourself? Always remember that the hydrogen of the terminal alkynes is actually acidic in nature. It is more acidic than alkanes. Now there is something of a similar nature that we did a while ago. Remember, when Grignard's reagents, they react with compounds containing active hydrogen, what do they form? Yes, they form alkanes. Now I've told you that this is more acidic. Now would you like to go ahead and form the products here? Apply the same fundamentals. So negative to the positive, positive to the negative. So this alkyl group attacks the positive hydrogen. What will I form? Yes, of course, an alkane. Now what are we left with? The simple exchange of parts taking place over here. CMGX. What are we going to do with this now? Now that I've got it here, oh, you see over here, there's a hint that you reacted with the alkyl halide. Okay, let's react it with the alkyl halide. What will be the product form? Remember, this is positive, this is negative. What about the product formed here? Sort it out. Yes. We know that in a carbon-magnesium bond, it's carbon which is more electronegative, acquires the negative charge, whereas magnesium is with a positive charge. Now what? Simple. Exchange of parts. Positive goes with negative and negative goes with positive, because here in our alkyl halide it is R positive. So switch parts. The negative carbon will attack the positive alkyl group. What do we get? Yes, of course, CH3, C triple bond Cr plus MgX2. So you notice that we started with a terminal alkyne and we have an internal alkyne. Would you like to give it a try? Let me give you a question here. Now the challenge that I want to give you here is you have to complete this reaction and tell me the products which are formed by this reaction. So I have methyl magnesium bromide plus propyne followed by treatment with ethyl iodide or iodoethane, as we say according to the IUPAC system of nomenclature. Go ahead, write the reaction in steps and tell me the products which are formed. Did you try it? Are you ready with your answer? So what we've got is, you notice the hydrogen of the terminal alkyne is replaced by the alkyl group of the RX, that is the haloalkane we use in step 2, not the alkyl group coming from the Grignard's reagent. So how are you going to name this product? Do you know the IUPAC system of nomenclature? If not, then there are separate videos on the channel to teach you the nomenclature of organic compounds. So we'll have 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So this product is pent-2-ine. Right? Happy with your learning? So we've now already spoken about the nucleophilic substitution reactions of Grignard's reagents. In the next video, I shall be talking about nucleophilic addition reactions followed by hydrolysis, which results in the formation of very interesting products. So we're going to form alcohols, we're going to form aldehydes, ketones, and how do they take place? I am sure you would be keen to know. So stay with me, stay connected when I come back with video number 2 covering nucleophilic addition reactions followed by hydrolysis. Stay safe, stay happy.